Hello, this is BGFH here, and welcome to the Illegally Cited YouTube channel. This is my first attempt at doing any type of YouTube stuff, video editing in general, so bear with me as I try to figure things out, and hopefully these next couple of videos turn out good. So, basically when I first started the idea of creating a YouTube channel, one of the first things I thought about doing was creating a few videos on the game Minecraft. And Minecraft is a game that's become pretty popular over the last year and a half or so. And if you follow any type of mainstream game websites and things like that, you've probably heard of it. And I'll just give a really brief explanation of kind of what it is here. And if you want to find out a little bit more, I mean, you can definitely search the web. There's tons of different descriptions on it. I'll also put a post in a little bit more detail about how the game works and things like that in my Illegally Cited blog, illegallycited.wordpress.com. So Minecraft is basically an open world sandbox game, and its focus is on really exploration and crafting and building things. So you know, a simplistic way that I kind of tell people to look at it is I call it Legos without the mess, because you know, you can just build whatever you want, and you know, you don't have to worry about buying a whole bunch of sets of Legos, or having a mess around your living room or whatever. So, and also what I want to do with this channel is not just cover games or technology or whatever. I want to cover it from more of a, visually impaired perspective. I mean, if you go to YouTube and just type in Minecraft, for instance, you'll probably find thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of videos by now. But what I'd like to do with this channel is cover things from a more visually impaired perspective. So not just show off the game or show off some of my creations, or whether it's a different game or technology, just go through it. But I also like to cover it from, like I said, I'm visually impaired, legally blind myself, so how does that, how was my experience with the game? Are there any things that make it difficult, or that I think would make it difficult for other people to play? That sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to try to do, start doing with these videos. So rather than just sit here and look at this menu for the next however long, let's start the tour of my castle and castle village. Right here I am starting on my boardwalk / dock area here. That stuff over there we'll cover in a later video. That's the start of a whole other set of projects. But again, I'm in my harbor, I'm on my docks here, and we've got some barges and some boats and things like that. And these are just some little sales stalls here, so you get off the boat, you can sell stuff, buy stuff, do trades, whatever. And these things are right next to my warehouse right here. So this is where a lot of the import-exports for the little kingdom come into play. I'll start taking you into the warehouse here. Over here, this is just a simple kind of businessy area for the warehouse district. And there's little desks and stuff. People can meet with people or whatever and do business. Across the hall we've got a little atrium area and some more kind of business teller windows type thing. People can come up here and do some more trades or business stuff like that. And before I go to the main area, let's go upstairs here. Up here we have, this is the part of the warehouse where I can store a lot of the smaller stuff. So anything that can fit in chests, this is where we store all that. And that brings me to the first part of how Minecraft is visually. So I'm going to open this chest here and talk a little bit about the interface. So up here we've got a chest. This is just the whole chest area up here. I've got one item in there. And if I go down here, this is my kind of inventory that I'm carrying, which I really need to sort through and empty because it's getting a little cluttered. But one thing that I like about Minecraft right away is that as I hover, as I hover my mouse over everything in my inventory, you have nice tooltips that tell what each item is. So if you can't tell visually, some of these, for some people, some of these things may look a little bit similar, especially when you get like sand and sandstone. And now there's actually a couple of different types of sandstone with little different patterns on them. So some of that, even for me, is a little bit difficult to see when they're really small like that. So, having these tooltips there helps quite a bit. And I'm glad they didn't go with the whole, a lot of times people will use tooltips or menus and they'll have things look pretty transparent so the text doesn't stand out very well. Thankfully they don't do that here, and again, it's pretty easy to see. So if you're able to read that text, you're probably pretty good to go, and you shouldn't have too much trouble getting around the interface of the game. And on the bottom here, this bottom row is where I have my real active items in my inventory, where I can actually use to build or fight or do whatever it is I want to do. So we will get out of that. And I am in creative mode. Again, there's a creative mode and there's a survival mode, which is more the classic mode. And I'm not going to go into them in detail in this video here, but again, like I said, if you want to check out my blog or check up on, I will definitely post a little bit more of a description of what Minecraft is and how things work and stuff like that, so check that out. But I'll pull up my inventory in creative mode. So here we have access to everything in the game. So every item that I can either craft or just flat out use. So it's a lot easier if you just want to, like, if you don't really care about the survival aspect but you just want to build cool stuff, which is kind of like how I've liked to play lately. And then that's how we play on the server. So, again, we got the tooltips. So what I was talking about before, if I go down here to, or up here I should say, we've got sand, sandstone, sandstone. So I've got a couple of different types of sandstone, and for me, unless I get really close, I really can't see the difference between these types of sandstone. And even then it's a little bit tricky. So what I might do is I might take this one here. Actually, let's take this middle one here. Pop it down here. Get out of my inventory. So like if I can't tell what it is, I have the, there we go. Bring up the inventory again. Place it down and I see, oh, okay, that's what that pattern looks like. If that's the one I want, I'll keep it. If not, I'll go back into my inventory, grab a different one, and look. I mean, I don't really have to do that very often because, usually there's a tooltip that'll describe it, but the sandstone is really the only one that has, like, they just say sandstone and it's only, it says the same thing for like 3 different items. So, but that's how I deal with that. So we'll head out to the main warehouse area here. This is the main storage area, and here's where we have all of our types of ores and resources that we can mine and collect throughout the game. Like for right here in front of us, we've got some coal, we've got some gold, iron, and all kinds of different stuff. And I wanted to put something like that in here because I kind of wanted to make it more realistic looking, make it look used, not just this open area for the heck of it. So all that look, all the resources are there. There's those skylights up there. But that's the warehouse. This is glowstone, which is how we get a lot of the light in Minecraft, along with torches right there. And right across from the warehouse by the docks is our blacksmith shop. Sorry about that. Here's our forge. And we'll head into the shop real quick. Nothing fancy, just a big old shop with little stands and stuff to display the items in the shop. And finally we get to the like the tanner area, work with leathers and things like that, and make deal with hides and stuff like that. So that's what this building here is. Craft or do a lot of that stuff. That's what that is. And now I'll take you through the agricultural area of my castle village. Funny, I've never given this whole kind of little kingdom a name yet. So, I just call it the Castle Town. I haven't really called it a name, which is kind of odd, seeing as how I've been working on it for, like I said, the better part of a year and a half. But there you go. So this is one of my farms here, and it's just a little set of terraces here. And I'll go up a little bit further, and I will use my creative mode powers to fly up a little bit so you can get a better picture of what's going on. Again, just some terraces. We got some irrigation channels here. In Minecraft, you have to have crops near enough to a water source so that they will actually grow. Otherwise they will not, or they will die. So we'll head up here to the farmhouses that manage this little plot. And a lot of what I did in like the town and this area here, if I have a couple buildings that are going to be pretty similar, like, you know, I've got a couple farmhouses here that are going to work on this plot of land, I just find a pattern, like build myself kind of a template that I kind of like, and if I like the first house, I'll do maybe a one or more next to it that are either, you know, just the same thing, or like here I just mirrored them. So we'll go in this house here just so you can see. Nothing too fancy, just a little simple 2-story house. Bedroom up here. And we'll head back down. Actually, before I leave, I'll show you a couple of quick things just so you can kind of see how it looks visually. This is the crafting table. And so if I have items down here, this is how it, you know, in creative mode I don't have to worry about this because I can just grab anything I want. But if I was playing in survival mode, you know, you take this area here and you build patterns. So, you know, you would take a pattern to build something. So if I wanted to build, let's take the wooden planks here. So let's say that I wanted to build a fence. There. Oh, whoops. Actually, that's not I forgot the recipe for the fence. That was kind of my fault. But see how I just made a little, and that tells me what it is. So, got my little trapdoor, put it in, and now I can put a trapdoor down somewhere. But that's how the crafting works. You know, I can make armor, swords, stairs, blocks, you know, a lot of different things. I mean, when you first start the game, you really almost have to either know someone who plays the game or look up a few things online, because the hardest part is, you know, they don't tell you recipes. So like, you have to know how to make, or you have to figure out how to make stuff. And here's a furnace, so I put fuel down here, like coal or something, and then I put what I want to craft up here. So let's say if I, if I want to bake bread, or if I want to take clay and make it into brick, the finished item will come out over on the right here. Again, everything is, very, the contrast is good. Everything is pretty simplistic, but it does the job. It works really well. So that is the kind of the crafting, a lot of the crafting interface. Again, more chests. So, that's really a lot of, if you can see that pretty well, you can play a lot of what you can play Minecraft probably. Down over here, got a little path going. If I keep going down that way, I can go to the other part of the warehouse again. And if I take a path right down there, I can come back and swing around down by come from the village over here to the docks boardwalk area. I'm going to head over, and before we go into the town and the castle, I'm going to finish off the agricultural part of my kingdom here. And I'm just kind of flying around. I do have gates and stuff, but just for the speed of the videos, for the video's sake, I'm just cruising around faster. So we've got pigs, sheep, cows, chickens, all that kind of stuff. These are just some simple little barns that I built. Nothing too fancy, but they do the job. Fly up up here. Another barn. We got a pig hopping on the, or a sheep hopping on the door. Hey, how's it going, sheep? What the heck you doing? Get off the door. And the reason that happens is because I probably haven't really mentioned it yet, but I'm actually playing on a multiplayer server that a friend of mine and I have been working on for about since the middle of last year or so. And when you're on a server, you run into a little bit of, you know, lag or a little bit of weird issues where you get a little, you get a bit more where things will clip through walls a little bit, or you know, just you'll get a little bit of laggy response. So like, you know, a sheep will jump and then it'll clip through the fence and end up on the other side, things like that. So there's not much you can really do about it, but you know, it's not too big a deal. It gets annoying sometimes, but you know, not much you can do. So like I said, I've got pigs and sheep here. This is supposed to be the sheep pen, but we've got a couple pigs hanging out in here. Here's our cow pasture and barn with another cow hanging out, hovering. Get off. There we go. Yeah, scared the cow. Punch him. So there's the cow barn. And move. We'll hop over here, fly down to the chicken coop and chicken area. And they do lay eggs, yes they do. Here's our chicken coop inside. Nothing, you know, too fancy, but there we go. Chicken coop. And that is the farm area, the agricultural and warehouse area of my castle town. This is right here. I'm not going to show this in this video too much. This is just the top area of it. But basically down there, if I go down there, this is a little, like, kind of a temple idea that I was playing with. Kind of making it into like this weird little water temple type area. I may show that in a future video, but like I said, there's a lot more that I want to do to it before I decide to show it off. So, before I wrap up this video, I will just walk you through one other quick area here. And that is this little cave here. Just I'll go to the front part of it anyway. This is where I first learned to play Minecraft. So this is one of the first cave structures that I hollowed out and started to use to build my castle and my village. Because in the beginning there wasn't creative mode, so you really had to mine everything yourself. So there's a chest with a bunch of cobblestone, and we got some stuff in there. So this is where, like I said, I just have all my resources, and I can store them. So because you can only carry so much. And this down back here, I'm not going to take you back there, but basically they're just a few little simple rooms where I was, you know, learning the mechanics of the game and just building really simple rooms. I mean, it's really nothing to get excited about. Very simple, but you know, that's where I learned to play. And here we've got a little furnace room where I started to, you know, really, if I had to make bricks or craft other things using a furnace, this is where I did it. And we'll head out here, and a little bedroom off to the left here, so I could just go to sleep. Because when I was playing, again, when you play, oh, that's kind of, yeah. When we updated the server, sometimes things go really weird. Like, you notice the chests in that other room, not all of them were facing the right way. They should have opened, you know, the back to the wall, but and then this bed looks all screwy. Sometimes things get messed up, and they, you kind of have to, when they do a major update, sometimes you have to go in and fix a few things from time to time. But yeah, this is really my first little cave area that I used to learn how to build in Minecraft. And with that, I'm going to stop this video here, and in the next one we will continue our tour through the castle village and the castle itself.